Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Victory at Sea Pacific, episode number 7. So this is actually take like 7 or 8 of this episode, or also of episode 8, because I actually continued one of my potential recordings on. I just hit a lot of bugs, which is just unfortunate. This is not game breaking I even was going to play on if I didn't run into another bug. This was in the 7 and 8 alternate universe. One of the alternate universes where I made it more than just one episode ahead. But I encountered another bug, and basically what I'm having is a lot of difficulty with the dive bombers. They're being very ineffective, like unnecessarily ineffective, so hopefully we won't have too many problems with that in this potential alternate reality. Okay, so what do we want to do? Well, we had this Task Force 23 finishing. They are just at Pearl Harbor. They've already been upgraded, I believe. They have. So we're all good on that front. We have no new fleets that we need to take care of yet. We have 400 war bonds, which is not too many. And you know, we've got these cruisers kind of on the ropes. I'm kind of thinking that we should send our next wave of dive bombers. Well, okay, let's do this. In tandem. Okay, so we have one thing I need to fix. We want not our Devastators, which don't even have the range to hit. Oh, we could use them for this. No, I want to use normal bombers. So we'll send 4 there, and then we'll send the Dauntless, looks like 3 remaining, over to try to attack this cargo ship. And let's see what happens when I just give the attack order. Maybe, if we're lucky, everything will just work out as I hope. In the meantime, we still have this Kingfisher going to scout the Marshall Islands. That's all well and good. I mean, this is basically what we want. We could, if we wanted, also send some scout ships out. I mean, frankly, just basically, let's pretend I send airplanes, I should say, out from these. I did this every single time in all my alternate universes, and I never found a fleet. I'm basically being lazy and don't want to click that. I'd rather move this episode forward, knowing that it once again might not be the episode, which is, oh my god, what's going on here? So I have encountered a lot of bugs just like this, where I don't understand what they're doing. Okay, a movement order seems to have rectified the situation. Not at all sure what's going on there. Let's get this guy up as high as he can go. Still not sure how they're going to attack from that angle. Okay, we'll have to manually give them orders? No, they don't know what they're doing. Okay, fine. So we'll manually task them. We'll divide them into 2 groups. And just go in game. Let's do this the usual way. Okay, so we have, let's pause because these guys haven't gained altitude yet. We have 2 groups. The front group is looking good. Those guys will approach the rear ship. And we want to get them up. 39 should do it. Then you are going to move at this one and gain altitude as well, but we're not actually going to have you go straight. You're going to bob and weave a bit to give our first flight a little bit of time so we're better synchronized. Basically, if I hit them, I want to hit both at the same time. So I had really terrible success with the Dauntless. I'm probably batting about 33% hit rate with not just the individual groups of 3, but I mean all 3 missing counts as a 1 miss. If any of them hit, it's if any one of the 3 hit, it's the whole group hit, basically. And I was sending like 8 groups against transport teams, and the sad thing is none of them would hit, or I'd have 1 flight hit out of 5. You know, and some of them, in some of the universes, I had 2 out of 5 hit, so that's why I'm trying to say like 1 out of 3. Getting 50% of my flights to hit was optimistic. So I really hope we don't have the same kind of situation here, and I don't know if I maybe overcooked the amount of delay we built in. I'm gonna let it go as is, but I hope we didn't like overdo it, because these guys getting done first is actually worse. I want them to finish first since the return path is back through the... But although this one is more... Oh, and they're diving already. Okay, so it's good. This one's more damaged anyway, so then these guys should be first for that reason as well. Anyway, here we go. I like to hear their little engines. I turned up the sound a little bit. I don't know if it's too loud now. Oh, this is perfect. I think when you approach from this angle, it's hard to miss, and that looks perfect. That's a hit. So we'll have to maybe line up my approaches a little bit better. These guys are... What the hell? I didn't give them a dive bomb attack. Forgot to give them the attack order. Okay, yeah. Let's do this attack thing I forgot to tell you to do. Go ahead and do that now. So that one's on me. I accept full responsibility. And all we need is one bomb to even partially hit, and I'm sure that this one goes down since she's already on the ropes. Drop. Perfect. Good hits. Fleet destroyed. Very good. Some Dauntlesses over here. It was very nice that we were able to swing over to them. What happened to my... Uh-oh. We lost another one. Damn it. Well, we don't have to scout Marshall Islands. We are here to do just that, so it'd be weird not to. But one thing I wanted to mention is, off camera in my playthroughs, I believed I saw a correlation with doing the current objective giving you more war bonds. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm just hopeful that it's true. Which means we actually should do a raid on Tarawa. Now, we have this group way over here, which is the Northampton fleet, unfortunately, the slowest one. I'm debating whether it's worth it to go back with the Task Force 17 here, just to do the raid, so I get the points, and then move her home for upgrades. I mean, it's a very delayed path home, but she's being so helpful so far. She's already done so much. It's one place where we could use our Devastators without fear of losing them, because they're all going to get replaced. There's no question about that. They're all going to get replaced. So, didn't lose any dive bombers in that attack, which I'm happy to see. Which is not too surprising. Those ships were pretty heavily damaged. Okay, so what else is going on? Got our ASW sweep going. And like I said, I could do the recon screens. I apologize for this. Look it, if I can, please allow me just to blame the game. It's an excuse, but basically I've done those. I've put out those recon flights. But this is the first time I ever lost this spotter. Let me try to be realistic. I think it's been 5 takes for this, not 8, but it's probably been 5. I'm trying to be accurate with that number. So get this guy way up there. I guess we'll do the recon anyways. It's just recon, and normally what it's asking us to do is raid. So how much did we get for recon when it was our objective? I don't know. So once this guy gets high enough, we'll actually zoom in on him. Probably hard to lose this when he's that high. It's a little surprising. Task Force 17, what are you exactly doing as well? Your order is to move. Okay, that's fine. I think we're going to want you to start moving another way, but you're up to 2,000. That's probably enough to save you from too much, from like some of the anti-aircraft fire. Alright, let's go ahead and scout this out, and then we'll jump over to our Dauntlesses for their final approach. This group of 5 transports is the one that I sent the most in my parallel life, in my alternate universes. Sent so many flights in, and this is all immersion, totally immersion breaking. I completely agree. So it's definitely not the way I want things to be, that I'm talking about something which never happened, even in our... I mean, this whole thing is alternate reality, and now we're talking about multiple alternate realities. Whoops. Spacebar to get back. Excuse me, and I apologize for coughing, clearing my throat. I'm still getting over something. It's like the sickness would never ends. And that should give us the scout. 3 parts to Marshall Islands. You have the air base itself, you have one of the ports, and then you have another one of the ports. I think this is... I don't know about Marshall Islands' exact configuration of stuff, but like I don't have a photograph of Marshall Islands base when it was still... Oh god, we're already there. Okay, perfect. Well, let's start divvying up targets. In fact, we're close enough that I need to pause because our aircraft did not decide to gain altitude. I'm gonna try... If one bomb hits, it's a kill. So I'm gonna try to get lucky. And do 1 per. And this... Okay, actually... They all have about the same fuel. That was another bug I was having. One of them would have less fuel or more fuel. So this one's going to stay and kind of just gain altitude, but not actually attack, because if I don't hit one of the 2 rear ones, I do want to go back. Oh, interesting. There's 5, so never mind. Your target is now that. Are they going to dive bomb from this low altitude? No, they're all trying to climb, but... Okay, so we'll see how this goes. I have also been experimenting more with manual bombing just because the percentages of this were so bad. And I was having some great success with it. So this red circle is where the bomb will drop at any given moment in time. It's pretty useful to use as for manual targeting, basically. And it's kind of an indicator of whether or not you think this is going to hit or not. Like, these guys are obviously way off in their prediction. Are they? Yes, maybe. Yes. Maybe. Yes, they're off. Okay, so let's get them to move just away from the fleet and gain height. Gain altitude as quickly as possible. Okay, we did get a kill. That's fantastic. So you really ought to be diving on this one, but that's fine. You at least look a little bit better lined up. As long as you drop now, drop. Oh, that was a good one. That's good. That's a kill. Alright, good. So 2 out of 3, which is like some cosmically high ratio compared to what I'm used to. Get out of here. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Did we lose any planes? I think we had 2 damage going in. No, I guess we only had 1 damage going in because we have only 1 damage going out. Okay, so then everyone can be given orders to return. Good. All set. Very good. That was much better. And you are given orders to land. Hey, that is so much better. This is going to be the take. I can feel it. This is going to be the one that we get to keep. Oh, and by the way, the reason why I redid the previous ones was never because of this deterring. It was always because of other glitches and things which caused... Okay, one of the glitches I have this recorded still, and I'll probably submit this as a game bug. That's really what I need to do, is step up my game submitting these bugs, but right now in my personal life there's a lot going on, and I don't have time quite yet. I mean, basically it's such a low priority that it's going to be hard to make it high enough priority. Now what happened in the previous ones, like one of the bugs I had was... yeah, okay, they were 2 out of 3 hits, so they're down to 3. These things would teleport. I even had one teleport, then I saved and reloaded to see if it was a problem, if it would go back to where it was, because this one teleported way over here, out of my range. And when I did that, this one actually teleported down here. Very bizarre. I don't understand it. I even had fighters returning from a bombing mission, and then new ones, like the same way I have right now. It was probably this exact situation, that the ones from the cruisers came back, and I had sent them out to this one. That one moved, so I was like, okay, forget about it. Don't worry about the bug, let's just go north. By the way, we don't need to be talking about this in slow speed. We can go to 8x, even 25. I was like, okay, well, forget about those 8, I'll just get the 5. And then the ones that come back hadn't hit a single one, so there were still 5. I sent them north, they were gonna hit, and then suddenly when I reload the game, they were here, which is closer, so I went with it, but a lot of little bugs like that. I don't want to talk about the game bugs, I really wish. Oh god, what are you doing? Okay, he's... Okay, I don't know what's going on, but going up to 100x seemed to fix the problem. Let's just use 100x until He's home then. And let me click on the drum so that the screen rendering itself doesn't cause a problem. Okay, good. So now we're at 0x. What we want to do is pause and get another flight of dive bombers out, because we will soon lose the ability to dive bomb these. And I'm going to put, you know what, hell, let's just do it, right? If we're going to do it, let's do it real. Let's get all of our dive bombers out, and we'll go up to 4x speed. Now Task Force 17 is going to turn south after this, so let's start just getting them to move south instead. Which they shouldn't be doing until all the dive bombers are out, by the way. That's my fault. That's probably, I guess it canceled the order. No, it didn't. Nope, they're still getting airborne. Yep, they're still getting there. Okay, that's good. Alright, I'm okay with this. We apparently have 7 airborne, but only 4. What the hell is going on? Go ahead and land if you're part of this mess. So this is my, I guess this is this group. Yeah. Everyone else can just land. So I'll get everyone else back, that's fine. I'll also have to send out 2 waves, and maybe these 4 can take out these 3. Unlikely, I would say. Okay, good. You're all back. Now, so I have 4 out. There should be 3 back here, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, so we'll send these 3 out this way preemptively, not knowing if that's exactly where they'll go or if they end up going north to help finish off those 3. I actually want to completely eliminate that group. That's my goal. I really want to completely eliminate one of the convoys. I don't know why. I just, for some reason, it seems more important to completely eliminate one than okay, anyway. Task Force 24. Okay, the submarines are done. And these are now done as well. Fantastic. Let's view on the map and pause. Well, we don't need to pause. We'll just get these guys going. Okay. So, Task Force 24 is in San Diego. This is what we had to build this one. Task Force 5 now, by the way, has to become, we'll pause. We're going to name these Sub 01. Subgroup 01, Subgroup 1, first subgroup. I don't know what I would call it, but we'll just call it Sub 1. And you're on the happy face, that's good. Then we also have now Sub 25. We'll get them all to the happy face. This will technically be Sub 02. We'll confirm, but then we're going to go back and immediately split this into Sub 03. And Sub 04. Excuse me. So we have Sub 02, and then we have these 2 new ones, which are going to be, they're all out of order. So this is going to be Sub 02, just so I can keep them in order. Really a minor thing, but it's kind of nice to have them alphabetically ordered on the right. Sub 02, this will be Sub 03. And those are all happy faces because I did it when they were all together. And then we have Sub 2 is going to become Sub 4. And Sub 5 is the one who was built at San Diego, so they're going to take a while to get anywhere. But the tutorial asked me to build something, and we built something there. Probably in hindsight I should have built a destroyer, because that would get into the action a lot faster. But hey, they all have their radar, I believe. Yep, they do have their radar, so they're upgraded. We don't need to worry about that. Alright, let's get Sub 5 to just, let's move them to Johnston Island, where I can basically retask them from there. But let's get all the other ones going. So Sub 2 is going to move to Wake Island. Sub 3 is going to move to Marshall Islands. And Sub 4 is going to move to, I'm going to move them outside of Making Atoll and Tarawa. I don't know what the situation or status of these 2 islands will be. Will they be American controlled or Japanese controlled? That's to be seen. So I'm just going to move them that way to start, and then we'll see what happens from there. Okay, good. So go ahead and push on, and let's go back to the action here. I hope that these guys are going to correctly assemble. I think that these guys are not correctly assembling. Maybe I can force them to correctly assemble? Did that work? Is he moving? Yes! Yes! It worked! Alright, that's good. That's very good. And you can see the Yorktown has completed her northbound facing release. She's turning south, which is the direction we want the convoy to go. Very good. Okay, so that's actually working. Ah, it's so nice that we're not having to deal with really silly issues. We'll get these guys to climb up. That's going to prevent any anti-aircraft casualties over that. We'll get these guys to climb up as well because we still want that group to be at dive-bombing height. Good. Very good. All that's looking good. So the next thing is we just keep pushing forward and hopefully we get hopefully no bugs or anything like that in this episode. We've already at least had some success against these cargo ships. I'm not joking. I mean, I'll go back maybe and look in between the end of this episode and the start of the next one. I believe in the various different alternate timelines, my hit percentage of this, I'm going to go down to as low as 20% because I had missions of 5 groups that nobody hit anything. It's just frustrating. So frustrating. But, oh well, we're doing better, so I wanted to rant one more time, but let's put that behind us. Otherwise, I mean, the thing is, this game is so great. It's so... Oh, God. What's happening here? Did we lose somebody? There's a dot where it shouldn't be. Okay, there's 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, U does not do anything. There's some kind of user interface change, I think, that U is supposed to do, but I don't know what exactly it does. Alright, well anyways, you guys are not at the correct altitude. Might as well change that with these guys as well. Oh, they are. Hey, well what do you know? That's great. Alright, so that dot is gone, I'm happy to see. Just keep moving as fast as we can to get this over with. But this would be fantastic if we could actually take out these 3 cargo ships. So I'll do the same thing as I did last time. What we'll do is send 1 to each. And then I'll send the last one to attack, or, you know, I didn't end up doing this, but what I was going to do last time is send 1 to each and then send this weakened unit to dive bomb whoever's remaining. Okay, so we need to pause because these guys think their first goal in life is to do unwise things, but I am here to correct them. That's fine. I mean, that's actually way too high. Okay, everyone's just, I mean, it's way too high, but I mean, easier to lose altitude than to gain it, for sure. Probably drop down to 3,500. Okay, good. So now we start giving orders. Again, the full complement groups are going to be the priority. Might as well attack this one first. That is our reserve. You're going to go after that one. Are these guys turning back home? Oh my god, they are! What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, did I already reach? Maybe I reached the movement point. Wait, they're not responding. Oh, they are. It's all good. Okay. So that, and then the lead, and you are just going to move this way, and we'll see who's left after the dive bombing run completes, for the first 3 at least. Or you can actually begin your dive bomb if any of the first 2 miss. So you can just swing out this way so you're more in line with the direction of travel. We'll swing back a little bit. We're kind of at their direction of travel, as is. No more. Okay. Well, this is still too close, so I can't tell their wake. Okay, that's their wake. Good. So we are more or less at their direction of travel. Okay, let's see who does what. First one looks good. Looks great. Oh, that looks good. Got him. Fantastic. First one a hit. I actually want to zoom in on one of these and like hear the explosions because I'm not. I can't tell if the sound is too loud. The effect sound, I think it needs to be turned up. This also looks amazing. Just drop your bombs immediately. Perfect. Oh, we lost one. Okay, we lost a dive bomber, but hey, for this kind of success rate, I'm actually okay with it. That one might miss over the bow. Perfect. Oh, wow, we destroyed it, and it gave us some unlocks. Tennessee-class battleship, Lexington-class carrier, Portland-class cruisers, those are the fast ones, St. Louis-class cruiser, Brooklyn-class light cruiser. Very good. So these guys can all return home. They already know to do that, in fact, which is great. So go back and... Actually, you don't have to go... fuel situation? How's your fuel situation? Can you get somewhere else? Let's not chance it. Just go back. Go ahead and go back home. Fantastic. Okay, that was really good. I mean, I don't need to say it. It speaks for itself. We lost one, which is unusual. Probably just really bad luck. But I don't have to send these flights out a million times. Now, technically, it's better for me to send the flights out a million times than lose one aircraft, because in a situation later when if I happen to encounter an enemy fleet, every dive bomber is going to count in the first wave. But that said, it's nice that I don't have to worry about micromanaging that fleet those squadrons all the time. So it's nice. And what's also nice is that we're going to get a second go at these cargo ships, which I didn't have last time. Now, I guess we'll take half a moment here. I don't want to spend too much time, but let's actually take a moment to look at the different ships we've unlocked. The big thing about the Lexington is it's incredibly defensive. So let's look at the Yorktown first, just to get an idea. Again, just a refresher. This is 310 base. The biggest advantage of the Yorktown, the reason why it might be the best carrier for the United States in the game, is its amazing aircraft complement. It has 24 aircraft flights available, so that's 72 individual airplanes. And on top of that, when you upgrade it, it has 60 hit points, which is still low, but 11 anti-aircraft, which is good. It's not. It's very high. I mean, I shouldn't say it's just good. It's very high. Now, if you want to talk about a very, very defensive aircraft carrier, we look at the Lexington. It has 86. Remember, this one, when it's upgraded, is 60. And this is 86. So it's just a huge increase. Not only that, it actually has the 8-inch guns on the side, which are fun to use. You can basically take this as a one unit. It can both attack ports with its guns. It's a one-man raid machine. And probably I should task them accordingly. I need to eventually get the Saratoga and the Lexington into their own carrier task force just by themselves, so that they can just do those kind of raid operations very quickly, because their speed is 33.25. It is slightly higher than the Yorktown, so it would be nice to have them in their own groups. Now, the biggest thing about this, I would say, is if you build it and you upgrade it, which is expensive, but I mean still cheaper than the Yorktown, I think. Maybe not. For 115, you get 19 AA, which is one of the highest in the game. I think the highest I've seen for the Americans is 21. But it's still much better than the Yorktown. So at the Yorktown, a little bit slower. Much lower hit points. Same armor? Lower armor even. That could be important. This one is lumbering. I don't know. I think that means it's very slow to turn. 36,000 tons versus 20,000 tons kind of speaks to that. So it does not turn very quickly, which means that that could be a slight against it if you very quickly want to deploy aircraft. You have to turn and face north. If you're facing south, could take a while. I'm guessing that that's what lumbering is. They could have just said not agile or something. But okay, lumbering kind of speaks for itself. I just didn't realize what that might be for the first 3 or 4 times I thought about that term. Like, what does that mean? Why isn't there a tooltip to tell me? Anyway, so the other thing we got is the Colorado class. They're the 3 battleships you have in the beginning. I'm going to include the Colorado in this discussion. Are the Tennessee, the Colorado, and the Pennsylvania. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I am trying to make a spreadsheet with all the different ships, and I'll post that when I have it, because I want to do it for my own purposes. I think it's fun. But since I'm going to do it already, I'm putting the time and effort in, I'll probably post it. On one of the videos, I'll probably leave a link, but I'm sure I'll put it in my Discord as well. Okay, so anyways, between these 3, if you want to know which one to build, if you want to build one of these 3, it's kind of a toss-up, because you want either the better guns. The Colorado has the heavier guns, the 16-inch guns, but she only has 8 of them versus 12 of the 14-inch guns. Now, the Pennsylvania is probably the best bet if you don't mind the 14-inch guns, because she has incredible anti-aircraft. So Okay, incredible. Incredible for battleships. Well, not even that. Okay, so it's very good anti-aircraft. It has 9. I believe, I might be eating my words here, but that's the highest of these two. Yeah, so this is 7. And gives you an extra 2 flights. So you have 5 spotters, but generally I don't think spotters are that important. This game doesn't make them as important. So this is a pretty big upgrade, but it's extremely expensive. 230 war bonds, practically the cost of a Yorktown. Gives you only 8 AA, plus 2 local AA, which, you know, that's something as well. But it costs 230 war bonds, plus 15 damage means it makes it much more resilient even than the Pennsylvania. Just a reminder, the Pennsylvania was the flagship of the U.S. when Pearl Harbor was attacked. It was not actually, it wasn't sunk, but it was damaged? Lightly damaged? I think lightly damaged. Anyway, okay, so that just looks at that. Oh, I guess we should also just take a brief moment to look at the cruisers, the options for cruisers that we have. We have the Atlanta, which is your cheapest alternative. It's like your low-cost budget cruiser. Gives you like 3 anti-aircraft. The range of 5. It only gives you 1 local in the end, although it starts with 2. But that's, you know, not useful in the end because mainly these cruisers will almost never be attacked by themselves. What they'll mainly be doing is fleet. So the AA strength is much more important than the local AA. Now Omahas have 1 kilometer longer range, but you pay for the cost a bit. So the Atlantas with the upgrade are 130, and the Omahas with their upgrade are 150, and you have the same AA strength, but it costs you 150, and you have so it's 20 extra war bonds for 1 kilometer extra range on the AA. I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know. The Omaha's not a bad, but I would say that probably the Atlanta is better because the Atlanta also has depth charges, and the upgrade actually gives it sub hunter. So I would say the Atlanta is better from the, if you're going to get a very cheap low tier cruiser, get the Atlanta. The next best one is the Pensacola. So for 130, first of all, it has the 10 8-inch guns, which is great, really good. The very strange configuration, it's 2-3-3-2. So the super firing turrets are the ones with the 3 guns, which is interesting. This 175 sets you back 175, gives you 6 AA, which is like basically the max for most of these cruisers. So the best you can do is 6 AA at 6 kilometer range, I think, but this is still 6 AA at the 5 kilometer range, which we'll see is pretty standard. So 175, it's agile, it's 32.5, which means it won't at least slow down the Yorktown. You wouldn't want this or the Omaha. No, the Omaha is fine, or the Atlanta, 32.5 as well. You wouldn't want these escorting a Lexington because normally you want your escorts to be able to catch up, not to slow the whole fleet down. So we'll cancel that. Brooklyn, I don't remember this being any advantage. Okay, so this is 5 and 5. So for 200, you get 5 and 5. That's worse basically in every way than the Pensacola. You're dealing with 6-inch guns. So no, I would say that the Pensacola and the Atlanta. So Atlanta, Pensacola are our best options. We look at the Portland. She's good because she has the 8-inch guns and she has the really high speed, 38. So she's good, not on her own because her upgrade is 25. Yeah, 195 total for only 3 AA. So she operates on her own. St. Louis, I think she's also 3. No, she's 6 at 6. Okay, this is the best. If you want the best, this is the best you can do. It's 33 knots. It has 6 AA at 6 kilometer range. So this is 195, but it's the best option. At least this early. I don't have the. And Northampton, just don't build it for whatever you do. For the love of God, don't build the Northampton. She's slow. She doesn't have very good damage. She only has the same guns that other ships before her had. She has not higher damage. Like, look at the Portland, 26 faster versus 23 hit points and slower. You do the math. More armor, twice as much armor. Northampton, just don't build it. Okay, so that's my brief 5-minute, I'm sure, exposition on all the different ships we can build. And the only thing I want to revisit is the North Carolina when that comes out, and the Essex, the Essex class carrier when we get that one as well. Those are, I think, 2 viable options as well. But for my money, what I find the best to do right now is I like to get the Pensacola's, was it the St. Louis with the 6 and 6 AA at 6 kilometer range. I like to get those two, and then I like to get Yorktowns. That's been basically what I build. And then for destroyers, I like to get the destroyer leads because they have fleet. They help with the fleet AA. Okay, that's it. So let's get this one last dive bombing done before we wrap up this episode. Excuse me. And then we can safely move on from this whole debacle of terrible dive bombing. Hopefully I never have to speak of it again. I hope, really, really hope I don't have to. A little bit more. Almost there. I'm glad we didn't send this one out, even though they still have their ordnance. Can even just get them to drop their ordnance. I don't know if it helps their range. I don't know if did the circle increase? It should. But okay, now let's go in game to this. Make sure that these guys are operating at the altitude that they claim they are. Forgot which button. Okay, good. So just move here. And we should very soon see them. It is at night, so their chances of missing is greater. If I manually control them, I don't know how to get them to nose over into a dive manually. Oh yeah, this is a big fleet. So we'll do the same thing. It just makes the most sense to break them into different groups. They didn't manually decrease. Huh, fantastic. All right, so we'll just do this. I think this is just simple. You know what? I'm gonna wait a little bit longer because I actually want to look at this fleet composition. This is kind of tough. I think the best bet for us is to take out the rear. Okay, this one for sure. Probably these three. This one's really close though, so maybe these three? Okay, I'm okay with that. But what's our return path? Our return path is this way, so we're okay. Okay, great. We solved which ones we want to take out. Let's get to it. So you are the lead. You should probably take out this one. You are going to take out this one, and you take out that one. Good luck. And don't miss. At the angle they're approaching, they probably have a greater chance of missing. I will manually make sure they don't miss if I have an opportunity, in which case I think this guy is the one I should be looking at first. So what I mean by that is I will drop the bombs manually if the opportunity presents itself. They drop early, but if they don't drop in time, this looks off. This looks off. We're at 500. I think they drop at 500. No, 300. They drop at 300. The rightmost one could drop and hit. I doubt it, though. Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it? Pretty bad miss. Excuse me again. Sorry about that. So let's at least hope that one of these other two is going to hit the target. This looks a lot better on the course. If this one misses as well, I mean, maybe this is just abstracting the difficulty of bombing at night, which I'm okay with. Should release probably now. I'll do it manually. Like, the effects don't seem to be... Oh yeah, there it is. There's the big explosion that I wanted to hear. Now, it's very important that this guy hits the target, because as you can see, he's got a bomber group going right by him. It's looking good. Looking good. Got him. Perfect. Okay, good. Very good. You immediately have to turn around. Oh, shoot. Trying to get these guys, saving them. Okay, increase to 1. Just get out of the way, basically. You can land later. I mean, you can go back later. Okay, that's probably fine. So did we lose anybody? 1, 2, 3 intact. Very good. Didn't lose a dive bomber, and we got 2 out of 3. This is like the odds I was expecting. I was kind of disappointed when I kept getting much worse rate of return. But this is good. Okay, good. So that's going to conclude this episode, I guess. Probably like the perfect... I don't think we're going to launch another attack on those cargo ships. Why not? Because we'll probably still be in range. I think the biggest factor is just my desire to get out of this area and back to Tarawa, because my biggest desire is to go back and get rid of all my Devastators, and also to upgrade my ships. So that's the overriding factor in what I want to do right now. So yeah, that's the big thing. And in order to get done faster, I need to move to Tarawa faster. Just want to see how are these guys doing as far as range goes. Looks like everyone's fine, so go ahead and have you guys move to Tarawa. Now we can do our raid on Tarawa from a distance. I can actually send my Dauntless. They're going to be destroyed anyway. I'm going to do it. I'm going to send my Dauntless after Tarawa, and just going to do some high-level bombing, and hopefully we can get the raid going. So yeah, this is perfect. I'm going to get those all back. Now we have 3 left. And how is the... I mean, I probably should scout ahead as well, because I've never done this. I've never left in this direction before, so let's get some scout aircraft going. They could still be out here. In fact, I'll probably have to even supplement the reconnaissance with some... I prefer to supplement them with not the Dauntless, because they're vulnerable, but with the Wildcats, with my fighters. So we'll probably do that. Okay, but good. Like I said, I'll just wrap this episode up here. So thanks so much for watching. I hope that you're enjoying it. I hope it's not... The moments when we hit and we're like, okay, now let's make this decision. Let's send them back to Tarawa. Also, I want to send out a big spread of fighters, which I'll probably do off camera. That's all really immersive, but then you have these other bugs which were detracting, which hopefully you guys just see less and less of. And if I have to record episodes multiple times or do editing, I might just start doing that to make it, a really fun series, because I'm enjoying how this has been going so far. So thanks again, and until the next episode, take care.